Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. It was a vast ice world. Hua. After being swallowed, Luo Feng felt a terrifying force act on his body. It was almost like a majestic mountain had pinned him down. With a flap of his wings, he withstood the force and floated in the air, gazing at the vast ice world. This is ice hell. He looked about. The space about seemed like it had trillions of unseen blades, causing the space to shake occasionally. This is indeed a true treasure. It frequently shakes the space, making it impossible to teleport via God Country. Luo Feng had expected this. Any true ceiling treasure would definitely suppress God Country teleportation. The requirements to teleport via God Country were harsh. It had to be within a steady space. During battle with the ripples of energy all around, one couldn't teleport via God Country. And I cannot teleport here. Luo Feng sensed. The space ripples in here were completely cut off from those outside. Even with the Mosha body, I can at most teleport within ice hell. I cannot teleport out. This is pretty similar to the forbidden space within the Star Tower. Star Tower had countless forbidden spaces, and the warriors could only teleport within each space, but not out or to another. Unable to teleport via God Country or normal teleportation, all the while feeling like the weight of a mountain was on him, this was what Luo Feng felt when he entered ice hell. The only thing he could be happy about was that he could connect to the virtual universe. Impressive. I've been in the Star Tower, Demon Mountain, Primal Universe, Blood River World, anyway, everywhere I've been to has allowed me to connect to the virtual universe. Luo Feng couldn't help but exclaim. This virtual universe truly was omnipotent. Even within a true treasure, one could still connect. Master, the space around is too special. The large scanner cannot function properly. The mini scanner can still work properly. Barbata's subsidiary AI reported the problem to him. Luo Feng nodded. The mini scanner was much more advanced than the large one. It could still be used in ice hell. For the Green Knight to lock me in here for an indefinite amount of time, it shouldn't be that simple, right? Luo Feng landed on the snowy ground. He took several steps, each one over 1,000 kilometers long. I'll explore this area and see why he actually locked me in here. As he walked within, the footsteps he left behind finally drew the attention of another warrior within. Claw marks. What claws are these? A blurry black silhouette landed on the snow. None of the warriors in ice hell should have these. Is there a newcomer? He, my chance has come. This ice hell sure is vast. Luo Feng suddenly stopped, looking around. The binding is too strong. My spirit energy can only cover 10,000 kilometers in area. Hence, I can only check a small portion of it at a time. I've already walked 100,000 kilometers, yet I still can't see the end of the snow and mountains. Just like a marble-sized little sealed star has its own forbidden space within, or a world within a world ring. This ice hell, as a true treasure of the Green Knight, had a space that far exceeded its outer appearance. Who? He took a deep breath, the chill entering his chest as he stride out again. It was said that there are many warriors within. I don't believe I can't even meet one. He continued forward. He left many footprints in the snow, every one of them over 1,000 kilometers apart. A normal human had no way to even track him. However, to the strong, over 1,000 kilometers was a simple step. Master, ambush. The mini-scan swiftly sent out a warning. Rumble. Luo Feng flapped his wings, causing the space around to shake as he flew up. A black beam of light shot right past him and landed on the snow. HM? Luo Feng looked down from high above. There sat a cross-legged black life form. It had a body length of over 8 m long, but its tail was even longer than its body. It had long fangs and eyes that were burning with black flames. It stared at Luo Feng, and its body covered in black scales. Soul-swallowing beast. Luo Feng was stunned. The soul-swallowing beast was an incredibly rare creature of the universe, just like the golden horned beast and Mosha, which were rare as well. This was comparable to the Mosha. Such a rare beast had its own natural abilities, and it had two. Human, You actually recognized me. A hoarse voice resounded from the beast. To actually meet a soul-swallowing beast here in ice hell, ha ha, we have some fate. Luo Feng smiled and descended. Landing on the snow, he smiled at the beast which was filled with killing intent. Beast, I just entered ice hell. I wonder if you can explain to me the situation here in ice hell. Arrogant human. The beast howled and sprung forward. Fast as lightning. Within ice hell, which had the powerful pressure, it was already much slower than before, however its current speed was still shocking. Who? Luo Feng flapped his wings and easily dodged. I'm willing to chat with you, why fight it out? Luo Feng laughed easily. The beast however howled hoarsely and vanished. Teleportation? Luo Feng squinted. Behind him, the beast appeared once again and opened its huge mouth to bite him. However, Luo Feng detected it and flapped his wings, stopping the bite. Ka. The beast bit hard on the Shou wings, feeling the force of the G-grade metal. Soul Blade. Luo Feng turned to face the beast. His powerful willpower became a spirit energy blade. Infusing it with the beast god presence, he slashed it straight at the beast's soul. A simple soul attack. Even though he wasn't exactly very proficient in soul attacks, his willpower and consciousness were indeed strong enough to control such moves with precision. Unleashing a powerful illusion may still be very difficult, but a simple soul attack wasn't that bad. Simply infusing the beast god presence in, even though his soul blade construction skills were considered crude, but his beast god presence had reached an incredibly high level. His move wasn't weaker than a pinnacle Emperor Soul Master's attack. Wang! The beast was stunned immediately by the attack. Luo Feng waved his left hand. 6 black balls shot out, hitting the stunned beast's body. Without any resistance, the first ball tore through its bones and muscles, the second one caused it to explode apart, while the others swirled within, dissipating the fragments that remained. The beast simply vanished. Vanished? Luo Feng's expression changed. He didn't regenerate or teleport. How did he just vanish? I didn't even use the Fei Mo poison. Teleporting required one to reform his body first. When a warrior was slashed into parts, the parts were unable to teleport on their own. To vanish after being reduced to fragments usually meant one thing: the main body of the beast was far away. That way, even if its god body was destroyed, the scattered undying energy had its imprint long ago, it would naturally return to its main body. Is this doppelganger? Luo Feng thought, this is just one of its doppelgangers. The soul-swallowing beast had 2 natural abilities. The first was the terrifying attacking move Soul Swallow, the second one was its terrifying fleeing ability, Doppelganger. The body formed from this ability, in terms of strength, was far from the main body. It was so weak it couldn't even use its first ability. However, it at least knew the laws: as long as the main body did, so would the doppelganger. After being ambushed once, Luo Feng continued forward. He didn't expect that the soul-swallowing beast would ambush him another 2 times. The second time it had used a soul attack, with Luo Feng's terrifying willpower and the beast god howl, he easily withstood it. He didn't even need the Tower Pearl's help. The third time, the beast used illusions, which was still ineffective. Luo Feng used the same methods to deal with him. Using the stars from Star Map, he easily killed the beast. Master, that beast is using his doppelgangers to attack you over and over. He's obviously testing your strength. If you aren't too much of a threat, his real body would probably show itself. If you are too strong, he would carefully avoid you. He sure is crafty. Ji Hong said within the world ring. Master didn't even show his strength or use the Fei Mo poison. Honed Heart said. Luo Feng brought 2 warriors within his world ring, the others all followed the golden horned beast's body. Honed Heart was a soul master. Ji Hong carried the ancient clock. With the 2 combined, in dire times, they could easily change the outcome of the battle. When Luo Feng was planning how to steal the black metal board back then, he had considered what would happen if he was caught. Hence he left 2 warriors to protect his earth body. His earth body after all had no way to burn undying energy. This was the biggest difference between him and the other warriors. Without burning undying energy, he could win against many. The moment they burned their undying energy, he would be disadvantaged. I'll patiently wait for him, let's see if he shows himself. Luo Feng continued to walk in the snow. He believed that there were other warriors around. The Green Knight's words before and Da Lao Shou's warnings, they state that ice hell is terrifying, just which part of it is terrifying? In the snow grounds over 100,000 kilometers away from Luo Feng, a black silhouette lay hidden. This human can't seem to teleport, but he is still very strong. Even though my doppelgangers only have a portion of my strength, he killed them so easily. He's at least Pinnacle Emperor, it's better to let the other punks deal with this guy first. The silhouette vanished. Luo Feng continued to walk unhurriedly, enjoying the scenery. That soul-swallowing beast is not coming, I only showed a little of my strength and yet I scared him away. He sure is cautious. Luo Feng continued on. He had been walking in a straight line for close to 10 million kilometers, yet other than that beast, he hadn't discovered anyone else. His eyes gleamed. In the distant ice mountain peak, there stood a silhouette. The two of them stood 100,000 kilometers away from each other. But with their vision, as long as there wasn't anything obstructing, they could easily see each other. The silhouette turned to face him. He had a huge god body covered in fur, and his vertical eyes stared straight at Luo Feng. Katu race. Luo Feng thought. The Katu race were one of the subsidiary races under the demon race. They were renowned for their cold-heartedness and ferocity. When Luo Feng confirmed the Katu warrior on the distant peak, he knew that a bloody fight was imminent. Hua! The warriors instantly became a beam of light, leaving a resplendent silhouette as he rushed straight at Luo Feng. Luo Feng stood there and looked up at him rushing over, patiently waiting. The two of them got closer and closer. The Katu warrior's eyes were filled with madness and killing intent. This made Luo Feng display the same. The warriors trapped in ice hell, why are all of them so direct in attacking their enemies immediately? The Katu warrior unleashed space lockdown, making it impossible for both parties to teleport. Luo Feng smiled within. This Katu warrior probably didn't know how to teleport. In truth, he himself couldn't either. Hence, there was no need for space lockdown at all. Human, die! The warrior roared, either one of us will die today. Rumble. A terrifying force rushed from the Katu warrior. Luo Feng, who had been calm all this while, was shocked, burning his undying body. He's mad. Even if he wanted to fight me to the death, he needn't have burnt his undying energy before even finding out my strength. Burning too much at once requires a long time to recover. Xiao! Luo Feng flapped his wings and swiftly dodged the attack from the Katu warrior. Katu warrior, I haven't met you before, why have you burnt your undying energy without even knowing my strength? Even if you want to kill me, if I was weak, wouldn't you have wasted your energy? Luo Feng communicated. A ferocious blood-colored blade slashed through the air. Luo Feng dodged it easily. Luo Feng used the Shou wings to dodge over and over. This Katu warrior before him was about Pinnacle Emperor level. The moment he burnt his undying energy, Luo Feng had no way to match force with him. He could only dodge more and let him burn more of his energy. Even after burning my undying energy, my speed still cannot match yours. The warrior seemed to be lost in his madness. Human, if you are strong enough, fight me head-on. Even if I die, let me die from a head-on fight. Katu warrior, do you think I'm stupid? Luo Feng easily dodged over and over. The Katu warrior was incredibly powerful after burning his undying energy, but it was pointless. He couldn't even touch Luo Feng. If the warrior had heard of Blade River's name, he probably wouldn't have done something so stupid. But it was obvious the warriors locked in ice hell probably didn't even know of Blade River. Ha ha! The Katu warrior suddenly looked up and laughed loudly, his laughter rippling in all directions like a shockwave. He stood in mid-air, not chasing anymore, and laughed. Ha 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 ha, ha ha ha. He seemed mad. Even though he simply stood there and laughed, what shocked Luo Feng was that he continued burning his undying body, not stopping at all. Katu warrior. Luo Feng spoke. Ha ha ha, this is fate, it's fate. The Katu warrior looked up and laughed. I've grown all this while. When I was young I was even a genius, until I became an emperor and got powerful enough. However, I was trapped in ice hell after. The moment that happened, I would never escape, spending the rest of eternity in here. My race has probably long forgotten about me, my loved ones are probably all dead, I guess only a few of my friends are alive. I cannot leave. Wasting so much time, but I still have to battle with all you punks, killing to survive. Ha ha, never relenting over 1,000,000,000,000 eras. I cannot take it anymore. Old blind, soul swallowing, you can all struggle, I'll be taking my leave first. His voice resounded in all directions. The Katu warrior looked at the shocked Luo Feng. Human, I wanted to die in a mad battle, I didn't expect to not even get that chance. Are you just giving up? Luo Feng asked. What else can I do? Human, being in ice hell is the greatest torture. He shook his head. Unless you have an absolute being in your race that favors you and will come take you away personally. Otherwise, there's no hope of ever getting out. My race has probably long forgotten about me. I'm leaving. Release. He exploded his body and a huge sun was generated from the blast, as endless energies shot in all directions. He didn't even care about the human beside him, he was already lost in despair. As to whether the human survived the blast, he couldn't even be bothered. If he died, so be it, that would be a release for the human too. Deep in the ice mountains, the soul-swallowing beast sat cross-legged, hearing the voice that spread throughout ice hell, its fierce eyes shook with some hurt within. Old friend, are you just giving up? If you wanted to die, why don't you die by my hands, that way I'd have a chance of leaving. The beast's hoarse voice resounded within the cave. Over 1,000 kilometers deep in a snow cave, a wriggling silhouette sat cross-legged. It had a human-like head, his eyes were closed as he sighed, his free. In a majestic palace deep in the oceans of ice hell. Another idiot has given up, good, good, good. The more the merrier, the more dead the better. That way my chances of leaving are higher. Go and die, you idiots. The many warriors locked for endless ages within ice hell all either felt hurt, laughed or were indifferent. They had different reactions, but no one was shocked, because this type of suicidal incidents had happened many times before. The energies flowed madly about in mid-air. Luo Feng gradually opened his wings that wrapped around him. Floating in mid-air, he looked at the world ring, weapons, armor etc. that the Katu warrior left behind. Suicide? Anyone able to reach Emperor level should all have strong willpower? Which one doesn't have their own beliefs? To actually be forced to suicide? Luo Feng muttered. The words from the warrior before rang in his ears, he slowly began to understand why he did so. The Katu race is a weak race. Even a strong demon warrior here cannot contact their race. Much less a subsidiary race like the Katu. Luo Feng said softly. They don't have the virtual universe and have no way to make contact, they can only stay in here and suffer. Killing is the main thing in ice hell. After endless time, solitude, trapped and being unable to make contact. The endless killing and battles. 1 year, 100, 10,000 years, he finally crumbled within. Luo Feng thought. This was the battle against solitude and time. Against time, if one was forever in solitude, even an emperor would crumble. What's going on? Luo Feng was indeed shocked by the suicide of the Katu warrior. He no longer had the patience to walk about slowly, immediately becoming a beam of light and flying in the skies. He shot across the skies. He constantly recalled and pondered what happened before. The more he thought about it, the more shocked he was. I was able to even withstand the life or death inheritance back then, but that was only over 6,000 years, yet every second and year became increasingly difficult. However, I stuck to my beliefs. If I was in the same situation as that Katu before, knowing my loved ones were long gone, would I be able to persevere for trillions of eras in ice hell? He asked himself. Could he do it? Yes. Definitely. He nodded. He would definitely leave and find a way to revive his loved ones. If he couldn't, he would take revenge on the Green Knight, as it was the night that took away his precious time with his family. Strength, the Green Knight is strong, who is able to lock so many powerful warriors in here for his game. Luo Feng thought. If any of them managed to become a knight in here, the Green Knight would probably immediately eliminate him. Luo Feng flew in the skies. Below him was an endless snowy plain, with ice mountains all around. He finally saw a transparent huge ice tablet. The tablet was majestic, and on it carved were demon language words. No wonder. He read the words and muttered. What a vicious Green Knight! The characters etched on the ice tablet were divulging the only living chance within all of Ice Hell. Since the last massacre, Ice Hell has detained 12,000 undying of the barbarian race, each of whom has an identification tag. Anyone who can gather 10,000 tags will be able to leave Ice Hell safely, whereas those who can't will be killed. This is what it means by massacre. There was a massacre before, and there was one powerful man of the human race left the Ice Hell in one piece. Barbarian races, uttered Luo Feng. This is your only chance to survive. Fight and take others' tags if you want to get out. And only one of you will be able to make it. Each character contained an incredible and terrific godly power, and that stress struck the surroundings continuously like a billow. Even knights couldn't subdue Luo Feng, let alone the characters left by them. How cruel this Green Knight is, Luo Feng whispered, by giving a glimpse of hope to the detainees while depriving them of all the other chances. Only 1 out of the 12 undying can get out, whereas all others will be killed. The strong are unreconciled to surrender to the fate, and they'll fight. That's how it came to be one slaughter after another, full of maliciousness. And that's why there were breakdowns after constant failures, which led to suicides. The Purple Knight and the Green Knight had detained those undying who had ventured among Ice Hell stars in eternity or souls with some special skills. It was likely that all the powerful who had some solid background or were valued by their clans had been taken away by the superior races, whereas those who were detained here had no connections. The clans forgot about them. The only thing they could do was to struggle. Only one will win. Luo Feng sighed in his heart. And I can't even know for sure that the one who got out actually survived or was killed by the Purple Knight the moment he stepped outside. Ice Hell couldn't detain the real geniuses like Kudai, Luo Feng, Seven-Blade Emperor, and Lifefall Emperor, who were especially valued by their own clans and had emergency help. The supreme creatures of the clans, like the Masters of the Universe, would come pick them up. The Purple Knight and the Green Knight didn't have the guts to disobey the Masters of the Universe. Master Mountain-sitting guest, Luo Feng murmured, it's not typical of you to give me such a dangerous but useless task to steal the black metal from here. Ice Hell is what you want me to experience. You want to let me feel the struggles of the powerful? You want to make clear to me the fundamental rule of the universe, the law of the jungle. Luo Feng continued muttering to himself. Luo Feng stood in front of the ice tablet silently. On the snowfield 70,000 kilometers away from Luo Feng, following a noise that sounded like kai, 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 a transparent leaf gradually appeared from within the snow, facing the direction of Luo Feng. Human. It's human. The only human in Ice Hell. He must have the machine to connect to the virtual universe, possibly an anonymous connector. The powerful one deep in the snow was thrilled because the previous soul-swallowing beast was reluctant to fight Luo Feng, while the dead powerful one of the Ka2 clan wanted nothing but death. Anonymous account. The virtual universe. The virtual universe that belongs to a human. The powerful one deep in the snow couldn't suppress his desire. It was too lonely for him to stay in Ice Hell while the anonymous connector used by humans could be used by them as well. To the powerful ones in Ice Hell, it was definitely a treasure worth fighting for, as it could placate their loneliness. Kill. Kill him. I want to connect to the virtual universe. A blurry, transparent figure 80 meters tall suddenly jumped out of the snow. Following his teleportation, it vanished in the air. Luo Feng was still standing in front of the enormous ice tablet when a strange, 80-meter-tall creature resembling a 30-story skyscraper suddenly appeared behind him. It was covered with leaves, which were transparent like glass. Its thick vines held a long, black chain. With a call that sounded like, "Huololo," the black chain came winding toward Luo Feng like a fiercely dancing snake. Lu Feng opened his wings, leaving a locus with twists, and flew behind the creature. The chain fell to the snowfield instead of winding around Luo Feng. The land trembled with chasms, but the ice tablet remained intact. Human! The transparent creature roared. It's useless to run. No matter how fast you are. Who? 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 The black chain reached its speed limit with a halo around it. At the time, Luo Feng saw nothing but countless illusions of the chain. At this point, Luo Feng could but admit that when the opposite side was giving its best, his flight and arm speeds were, indeed, relatively slower. 6 black balls with fuzzy purple halos appeared around Luo Feng's palms. He threw them out randomly. Howl! The lore engravings on the 6 black balls became a plethora of golden threads, triggering the universe origin lore all at once. Suddenly, a phantom of a several hundred-meter-long beast god appeared in the sky, storming toward the transparent creature with its attacking claw. The creature wasn't careless, and it controlled its chain to defend against the beast. The claw of the beast god whacked the black chain away. The chain fell onto the snowfield afar, cracking the whole field, and the chain slipped into the depths of the field. Howl! The beast god was bellowing, beating the creature's body with its claw directly. The transparent creature vanished and dodged the attack. It reappeared behind Luo Feng and tried to grab him with its thick arm under the leaves. Space lock. Luo Feng turned on the arm of locking sky on his armor, after which the fluctuations in the space stopped suddenly. The characters of the aboriginals living on Yangji land were looming in the air, and at the same time, Luo Feng vibrated his wings and pulled a move from Moon Policy. His wings cut like blades. The transparent creature felt its arm being slashed by a bizarre strength. A transparent arm fell onto the snow from the sky. Die? Luo Feng looked at the creature from afar, and the beast god was marching toward it, roaring. The living being brayed and tried to escape by going underground. Meanwhile, it waved its chain to stop the beast god. However, Luo Feng's power, with his spiritual force, could match that of the top of Emperor-level Undying, and together with the star map, even the best Emperor-level monsters were not his match, not to mention this transparent creature which just entered the apex of Emperor level. The beast god whacked the black chain again and grabbed it with its claw. Slice! The claw thrust into its body, with the 6 balls covered with Famo venom injected inside. No, the creature screamed with great despair. It was one of the least powerful ones among the survivors in Ice Hell, but it was still extremely resistant to harm. For one, it had the power of teleportation, and it had a gigantic body. Even with his body burning rapidly, he could persist much longer than other creatures. However, half of its godly body was destroyed the moment the 6 black balls went through it. The 6 black balls turned into 6 traces of light and flew back to Luo Feng's hands, after which, they disappeared. Human, the creature said as it looked to Luo Feng. You should know that half of your body is gone, said Luo Feng, and although he said it this way, he was awed by the creature's vitality. After all, the 6 poisonous pearls could only destroy 30% of the limit emperors, where it damaged barely 50% of this more fragile peak emperor. Luo Feng looked at the transparent creature. You can only use 1/10 of your strength now, he said. And you're not even my match. It gazed at Luo Feng in the snow. Human, say whatever you want to say. I admit that I'm not your equal and you're faster than me, so there's no chance for me to escape. I'm all yours, now. But you have to understand, hardly anyone is afraid of death in Ice Hell. I'll self-destruct if I'm rendered with no choice. I just saw one that exploded, Luo Feng said, smiling faintly, so don't try to blow yourself up, as it won't pose any danger to me. However, I do have something to ask you now, and if you answer honestly, I can spare your life. Spare my life? The creature found it impossible to believe. I always keep my promises. Luo Feng landed on the ground and said, I've already given you a chance. Don't you waste it. Ask, human, it responded. What kind of creatures are you? Luo Feng asked him pointedly. I know almost every creature in the universe. He wondered how there was another species he didn't know of. If it were a special life, it would make sense. However, it didn't fight like one. I'm from the Kangjing clan, the creature answered, and it's one of the botanic creatures. But I met with a mishap when adventuring in the secret area of the universe, and I turned into this after mutation. Mutation? Luo Feng was dazed. Actually, black warriors who used blood river crystals and therefore had their genes and body shapes changed went through a process similar to mutation. Nine Dome Tome, for example, could help genes experience one great leap after another. But comparatively, it was more refined, so it didn't leave any visible change on the outside. I'll ask you again, Luo Feng said. Why did you come and try to kill me without knowing you'd succeed? Human, the creature of the Kangjiang clan answered with a deep voice, you should know that although most of the creatures trapped in Ice Hell have a strong desire for survival, they've lost their prudence after being here for such a long time. To some extent, they might lust for death. That's why they'll fight the strangers without knowing their power. Because there's no downside to it. Don't compare the circumstances of the outside world to those of Ice Hell. There are extremely powerful creatures in Ice Hell, and some of them are special. All of them are able to survive the infinite time. Peak emperors like me don't even stand a chance, and we're struggling because we don't want to give in. The creature looked at Luo Feng. As for me, it continued, I came to kill you because I want that anonymous scanner. I want to sense the virtual universe. I want to feel the world outside. Scanner? Luo Feng was bewildered. Loneliness, the creature said, staring at Luo Feng. Grappling between life and death for countless eras with no end in sight. Can you even imagine how luxurious it is to enter the virtual universe? Part 1 end here.